This is Mark, and I'd like to give a shout out to our awesome partners that help us keep the show on the air and keep bringing you some interesting guests from different walks of life. The best, use the best. We're talking about War Tape, warbrandstore.com. The product of intense research and development, War Brand Tape is the choice of champions around the world. War Tape has become the standard in combat sports. You see it everywhere in combat sports. MMA, boxing, all that combat sports stuff. You look underneath their gloves, you're going to see War Tape. It's made with the highest quality materials. War Tape provides stability and comfort where you need it most. Visit wartapestore.com. That is warbrandstore.com. Type in a code, Jackson Wink at checkout, and you're going to receive 30% off your order. That's right, 30% off your order. That is a big discount, believe me. We have a great partnership with them. So, when you go to that website and you want to buy some tape or whatever other products are on that website, when you hit checkout, it's going to ask you for a code. You know, you've been to websites. It asks you for a code. You are going to have a cool code. Type in Jackson Wink, all one word, and it's going to give you 30% off your entire order. How cool is that? So, no matter what you work out doing, workout of choice, War Tape has you covered. The best, use the best. Our fighters and athletes are constantly on the lookout for products that will provide a legal performance edge. Legal performance edge, yes. A couple years back, we came across a nutraceutical company that has an incredible technology. Since then, many of the fighters who train at Jackson Wink MMA Academy have been using their products with astounding success. Unlike most sports performance companies, this company began selling their products through doctors. Their unique technologies help the body heal and maintain exceptional health. For this reason, their products are recommended by doctors worldwide. Yes, worldwide. So how does this translate to sports performance? The truth is, you will never be stronger than you are healthy. How many times have we heard of star athletes who miss a big competition because they're out sick? The same technology that is used to boost the immune system and to detoxify, nourish, and rejuvenate the body is the same technology that boosts strength, endurance, and even cuts unwanted body fat, because we don't want to get fat. We are pumped to finally let you know about our best-kept secret here at Jackson Wink MMA Academy. The company is called RNA Sport. You can find them online at rnasport.com. Again, rnasport.com. Look them up. RNA Sport creates incredible sports performance formulas for elite athletes. Our fighters use and love these products. One of the most important things to know about RNA Sport formulas is their ease of use. It's very easy to use, yes. No more messy powders or hard-to-swallow pills. RNA Sport formulas are delivered directly into the body in a simple-to-take, great-tasting sprays. With high absorption, RNA Sport formulas can be taken immediately before a workout or competition with no lag time. RNA Sport formulas support increased strength and endurance, reduced joint and muscle fatigue, improved recovery, a healthy immune system, optimized metabolism, and a whole lot more. RNA Sport provides benefits and technology unlike any performance products you have ever experienced. I highly recommend you to check out rnasport.com and use their products. They will take your performance to the next level. In our next podcast, we will review the amazing benefits of their specific formulas. JW Raw is happy to also have Fireteam Fit as a longtime sponsor. They are a veteran-owned fitness company that is now partnered with the greatest gym in the world, Jackson Wink MMA Academy. Fireteam Fit is giving a special offer of 15% off. That is right, 15% off all their products, all of them. Go check it out, all their products. All you have to do is enter a code. The secret code is JWRAW015. Again, JWRAW, just like the show, 015. Enter that secret code. You're going to get 15% off everything you buy. Make sure you do that at checkout. and then you'll get that discount. We love having Fireteam Fit as a sponsor since they are family and veteran-owned. That is so cool. We love our veterans. We love our family. Both in one big, happy group. We're happy to have them. It's available on both fireteamfit.com and on amazon.com. Everyone knows how to find Amazon. If you're on Amazon, you're legit. You can go find them on Amazon or check out their website, fireteamfit.com. But don't forget to enter that coupon code. Remember, use JWRAW015.
You're listening to JW Raw.
What's up, Eric? How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, thanks. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much. And first of all, let me say, I want to send prayers out to Mark Aragon, who couldn't be here today. I just found out he just had an accident, and we just want to send our prayers out to Mark, and also to Quentin Aaron, who is also supposed to be here with us today, who is in Atlanta right now at a funeral. So I just want to say that first.
Loss. I hope Mark's okay too.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully it was just a little fender bender.
Yeah.
So we were just talking on the off air about your new movie coming up. I want to ask about that real quick.
Well, there's a couple new movies that I'm getting ready to work on. I can't really.
No, I
can't give titles and a whole lot of information, but I can tell you that one of them I'm super excited about. It's going to give me the opportunity to play something different than, the stereotypical bad guy as I do in everything I'm in. We're going to be shooting in July, and it's more of a it's more of a faith-based film, so I'm really excited about that, and we're going to be working with some great talent. I wish I could drop some names. I will be able to soon, but we're going to be working with some fantastic talent, and I'm super excited about that. Some of the other projects that we're going to be working on, our company's actually producing, executive producing and co-producing, and one of them is a boxing movie.
Oh, really?
Called Round One with none other than Austin Trout.
Heck yeah.
From Las Cruces, New Mexico.
That's awesome.
Yeah, former world champion. And, a couple months ago, I was approached by the team that's writing the movie and doing the movie. And Austin and I had been talking about it, and he introduced me to the guys. And the guys actually flew out here right away. They jumped on a plane, and they came out here and spent a couple of days with us out here. And it was a great group of guys. We're really excited about the film. It's unlike, a lot of people might say, well, it's, we've seen that in Creed, or we've seen that in Rocky or Southpaw, but it's got a different connotation to it and a different feel to it. So, and we're hoping that, with the type of sequences that are in the film and the way the script is written, it's not just a boxing movie per se.
Of course.
It deals with boxers. It happens to deal with a boxer, but it's not just a boxing movie. So we're really excited about it. And
it's a bigger message than just boxing.
Yeah, absolutely. So and that's one of them. And then, of course, the other one, and we've been talking about this for a while, it's the development's moving, but it's Cardinal Sin, which is the true story of and we were talking about this earlier, bullying of a hazing incident. Based on a true story of a hazing incident that happened actually right here in New Mexico about 10 years ago.
Was it the Las Vegas,
yes.
New Mexico? Yeah, I had
Yeah, so you know about that.
Yeah, I do. Yes. I had a couple of friends that were involved in that, actually.
So we are actually going to be doing the film as well. But in the meantime, working on a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Got, we're working on opening up a full-scale post-production company here.
Okay.
That will be able to handle any size of film that comes here. We're super excited. We have the governor's support. We have the film commission support.
That's awesome.
That's another thing. We've been kind of like chomping at the bit, waiting to really spread the news and send out a worldwide press release.
You're itching for it.
Oh yeah, it's there's a lot going on with that. I mean, it'll be the first of its kind ever here in New Mexico, and we hope to set a precedence and set a standard, and to help not only bring more films here as well, but to give local producers a chance to get their films done, because because of the amount of work that we'll be getting, at that point, we're also going to be opening up our production division, which will, we have 7 films already on our slate that we're going to be producing and doing.
Congratulations.
As a result of that success off the Post House.
What is the post-production business called?
Dreamhouse.
Dreamhouse.
Dreamhouse
Okay.
Post Productions.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
That's cool.
And then there's Dreamhouse Productions, Dreamhouse Post Productions, Dreamhouse Enterprises,
Dang.
the Dreamhouse Academy, School for the
Dreamhouse.
Arts,
Yeah.
which is going to teach. We're going to be teaching everything from everything on the crew side,
Really?
everything on acting side, all the and then everything in between,
That's
producing, managing, finances. So
Yeah, teaching everybody the ropes.
Right,
How to
right.
do it rather than go
Yeah.
to LA, hey, talk to this person.
Right,
and
absolutely.
That's
absolutely.
amazing.
So, and our goal for that and our purpose for that is to, again, bring more to the state and give more people here from the state an opportunity.
Yeah, that's amazing.
To grow in the business as well.
Yeah. That's amazing. Shoot.
Yeah.
We need more of that in
Yeah.
Albuquerque. We need more of that in New Mexico, period.
Yeah, absolutely.
What got you started in acting?
I just, I've always loved the art of it, and I wanted to be, I wanted to be a part of the business for years. I'm now in my 28th year.
Really?
And it's just,
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it started out a long time ago. And I always say this: you're never actually done paying your dues, right?
Yeah,
Never.
Very true.
I mean, it's like being a fighter.
Yeah.
You could be the world champion, and you're still paying dues every time you walk through those doors.
Constantly learning.
You're constantly
evolving.
learning, constantly evolving, and that's just how it is with us. I mean, for me, I've been blessed enough to work with some really great people in my career and to build what I'm doing around these people as well. I have people who believe in me, and it's been there were times when it was tough.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for me, the biggest part of it now, the toughest part of it now is the anticipation, the anxiety, the wait, where I just want to let everybody know. We've been putting a few seeds out on social media. Hey, we're doing this, we're doing this. But I don't think anybody really understands what's going on. And when it hits, it's going to be major. And
I can't wait to see it. That's amazing.
And not to feed off a Quentin's film, but it's going to blindside everybody for real.
No.
So
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you and Quentin are partners in this endeavor, right?
Right. Well, there's several people involved, but Quentin is he's the director of development for our production side. So Quentin will be handling, he'll be handling all the new scripts that come in. If we're accepting submissions, he'll be the one that is talking to all the new writers and new producers that are coming in. But there are several people involved, and we're getting ready to lock down on the build of a new building up by Netflix.
Really?
So yeah,
That's
and
big.
real big. It's gonna be a very, very big building, and we're very excited about it.
Yeah.
We're also locking down our satellite office, which will be right up by Coronado.
Oh, really?
13,000 square feet up there.
That's
so
big.
we're moving. I mean, and again, it's the excitement of wanting to be able to save more.
I want to tell everybody.
Yeah, but we want to make sure that kind of everything lines up the way we need it to before we can go full scale.
Of course. So, with acting, I know there's I'm kind of familiar. Like I said, me and a couple of friends are trying to make short films and things like that now. Did you study any sort of technique? I think there's Meisner method, all those things, or did you just kind of life experience?
Yeah, for me, I've always been, and it's a blessing and a curse, right? But I've always been blessed to be able to. I'm constantly the bad guy in everything that I do.
Yeah.
So where I pull from, my childhood was tough. The way I grew up, the way I lived, it was tough. And I pull from past experiences. I mean, don't get me wrong. I fully believe that any acting classes, any coaching you can get, for sure do.
Of course.
And I've had the opportunity to work with some really, really good people as well. But for me, I can typically find something in that role that I can tap into personally, so it helps me there. And another thing too is I've been able to work with so many great directors and so many people who allow me to really kind of embody the role itself.
Really,
so that I don't have to, there's not. And I don't say this in any disrespectful way, but there really wasn't a lot of training. It was just like me being myself.
Yeah.
So, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to. I don't believe in practicing my craft and reading monologues and reading lines and reading dialogue. I fully believe in it 100%. In fact, one of my friends here in town runs the Soul Acting Academy.
Ron?
With Ron, Chris Rainey and Ron Weisberg, and they're doing a fantastic job over there.
Yeah.
They offer some great classes. They bring in some good people, some good coaches. So it's just one of those things. It's another kind of thing that we needed as a community, as a film community,
Yeah.
to better
Like you're
give
saying, it's
ourselves
that
better
constant
chances.
evolution. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's
You know,
amazing.
because unfortunately, I mean, there's a lot of a lot of the big films that come here, and they do. I'm not saying there's not work going around, but a lot of times, a lot of the local actors get, they get pushed aside. They they get what's left of,
Yeah.
a lot of times that happens. They get what's left of on the script.
Yeah.
You get a day player role, or you get maybe a featured extra, or
Yeah.
you get 2 or 3 lines here. I think what the stuff that like Ron and Chris are doing, the stuff that we want to do, is and what a lot of other people are going to be starting to do is it's going to give the local scene a much better chance at landing lead roles,
Yeah, that's
carrying
amazing.
films on their own, producing films on their own.
I can imagine.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. That's going to be great. There's, like you were saying, there's so much, life experience here, especially in our little city. There's so much diversity and talent, but not everybody knows there's talent, in my opinion. You
Right.
know?
Right.
And we were talking about the anti-bullying, and being from here, I'm sure you see it as well. There's a huge cycle.
Yes.
There's a cycle of everything, just going back, not really figuring out where to go. And I feel like this would be a great outlet for a lot of people
Right.
to express themselves in ways that they never thought possible.
Well, the arts is an outlet, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you're able to express yourself, whether it be through film, theater, even if it's just acting classes, short films, music, the arts is an outlet, and I think that I think there's a creative energy inside of every one of us. Some people choose to use it, and some
Yeah.
people don't.
I agree.
And that art can come in many different ways. I mean, it's funny. I was having a conversation the other day with somebody that's deeply involved with the Film Commission, and we were talking about that whole purpose of when we do the Dreamhouse Academy. Where do we cap it at? Is it just for film, or do we dive into the music side of it at some
Yeah,
point,
it's
or do we
huge.
dive into art, as in drawing? I don't know. I mean, we're going to leave it up to the people who come, and if there's a demand, then we'll do it. But
of course.
I really feel like if we don't do our part to help people tap into that side of the art, then we're not doing what we truly should be doing, right?
Of course. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that, just want to do it, but they're embarrassed, or they think their friends are going to make fun of them, or their families going to say, oh, or you got to go to L.A.,
Right.
I don't like when people say you got to go to L.A., you got to go to New York, you got to go to these huge cities,
No.
And I believe it, go
Right.
over there, meet people, do what you got to do, but there's so much talent here, and there's so many opportunities. We need to make our city great before, we go and put...
Well, it's so crazy because I get to travel a lot, and listen, I film a lot out of the state. Now,
Yeah.
as an actor, would I love to be working more here in
course,
Albuquerque? I
of
would
course.
love to.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to, but I work a lot out of state, and I can tell you that. I always hear one of two things about New Mexico. One, the film business is crazy out there.
Yeah.
But man, I've heard it's really bad out there. It's really
Really?
scary. It's
Yeah.
really, and I'm like, listen, Albuquerque is a beautiful city. New Mexico is a beautiful state. There's nothing that goes on here that you don't see anywhere else, right? But
Yeah.
but I feel like a lot of people that are here sometimes they feel kind of encapsulated and closed, and because they're here and they don't
Yeah.
get to see that everywhere else, they think it's just here that it happens.
Yeah, right.
I've heard people, oh well, that doesn't happen in Phoenix. Yes, it does.
Yeah,
It
it happens
doesn't happen
everywhere.
in Dallas. Oh, yes, it does.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen in the Hamptons. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It happens everywhere. It's how you choose to perceive it and how you choose to deal with it that I think makes all the difference in the world. Here's the thing. If you want to see change, be the change.
Exactly.
Right?
That's a great message. And we need more people like you spreading that message, because like I said, a lot of people don't know, or you want to help people, but your friends say it's not really that cool.
Right.
You gotta do your own thing.
Right. Absolutely. One of the things I preach to my team, and I preach every time I speak, wherever I'm filming, I speak at schools and I do events. And the thing is that I tell people all the time, you have to be relentless in your goals, and you can't let anybody tell you, their opinions are just opinions.
Yeah.
You can't let people dictate how you live your life and what you choose to believe in, or what you choose to go after. So what if you fail?
Yeah.
Failing isn't the end of the world. Quitting is.
Yeah.
You know, you only fail if you quit.
Mm-hmm.
You get back up, you keep trying and trying and trying and trying
Okay.
again. That's why, you know, I'm also, and I keep saying this, I'm finishing up my book. I have a book coming out
Oh, really?
called
I didn't know
Relentless.
that.
Yeah, it's called
Really?
Relentless.
Heck yeah.
And it's about that whole never giving up.
Yeah.
You know, it's my life story. It's about never giving up, never giving in. You know, continuing to push forward no matter what the odds are.
Uh-huh.
And listen, you know, I don't know. I may not sell one copy. I may sell 1 million. I don't know.
Yeah.
But my whole purpose of that is to share my story so that hopefully, even if it influences one person,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's all that matters to me. I just want it to. I want somebody else to say, "Wow, if he can go through all of that and
Yeah.
get to this point, I can do it too."
That's amazing. How long have you been writing the book?
It's been an ongoing
Well,
process.
for most of your life, I'm sure. But
well,
now, when did you put pen to paper?
Well, I put pen to paper about 5 years ago,
Really?
and you know, going back and having to relive some of this stuff is hard.
Hard, I'm sure.
And not only that, you find yourself. I've never written anything before, so
Mm-hmm.
you know, you find yourself kind of being repetitive
Of course.
in your thoughts, and you know, you'll write something in chapter 2, and then in chapter 25, you're writing the same thing. You're like, damn,
Yeah,
you got to go
need to
back.
yeah.
And you know, you just don't want to keep doubling over yourself. The most important thing for me is just making sure that the message gets across, you know, wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
You know, I rededicated myself to the Lord, you know, 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago.
Really?
Almost 4 years ago now. And you know, I had a big problem with it at first because I felt like everything I ever prayed for never came to be.
Mm-hmm.
And what was really happening was the Lord was just walking me through the trial to show me where my strengths were. You
Yeah.
know, I wasn't actually weak. I was a lot stronger than I had thought.
Yeah.
I felt like I was alone, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people feel like that in this day and age. They feel alone and they don't know where to turn and they don't know who they should be talking to.
Yeah.
And then if they do talk to someone, that person could use that against them down the road. It's always something, right?
Yeah, of course.
But
of
I
course.
found that when I started writing my book, and especially over this past year,
Uh-huh.
getting deeper into my book, into the topics that I was writing in the book, I really started praying on it every time I wrote, and it was just like things were coming out that
That's awesome.
that was by no means me.
Yeah.
It wasn't. There's no way it could have been me. So I'm really excited for that. You know, I'm
That's
really
awesome.
excited to spread that message and you know, just give people hope.
Yeah, of course. I bet it was really therapeutic for yourself as well.
Yeah,
the whole process.
It's super therapeutic and it's super cathartic, right? When
Yeah.
you write something down and I feel like this too, like not only just in the book, but I feel like you should write your goals down. I
Yeah.
tell people all the time, write your goals down.
Mhm.
You know, you look at it every day. There are times I can't tell you. Me and Quentin were just having this talk the other night. We were sitting, you know, we were sitting out. And we were talking about some scripts that we've been reviewing, and we just started kind of talking about we started talking to each other. I mean, too bad we didn't have a camera on because
Right.
we were talking to each other about our journeys, right?
Yeah.
And to what brought us to this point where we are today. And it was just so crazy, like just sitting there reliving some of the stuff that we both have been through, not only apart, but even together. Like Quentin and I have been best friends for 10 years.
Oh, really?
I mean, we've seen the best and worst of each other. I mean, you know, and it's, you know, a lot of people, even with someone like Quentin, you know, they see him as this big grand movie star, and he was in The Blind Side with Sandra Bullock, but nobody realizes the struggle that guy has had.
Oh, yeah.
You know, in certain times of his life, even after the movie, right? Nobody realizes that. You know, they just see the glamour of it.
Everybody
you
sees
know?
the glamour and not the pain. What
Right,
it
but
took to make the man.
Well, and listen, you're in a gym that people, you know, you get to see that firsthand almost daily.
Exactly.
You know, you see these guys on UFC Countdown and UFC Embedded, and you know, it looks like everything's great and grand.
Yeah.
Nobody knows the hell some of these fighters, you know, in their 8, 10 week, 12 week camps,
Yeah.
what they've had to fight through to get to that point, and even way before that, right?
Yeah.
So nobody, you know, you see the championship, but you don't see all the stuff that goes on before that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, we need to acknowledge our journey, not just talk about what's going on right now. It's you need to acknowledge the journey, come to terms with who you are, and yeah.
Yeah.
I was reading about I don't want to say. I was reading about Quentin. He I wish he was here. His mom saved his life. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a young boy, and they had walked into a bank when it was getting robbed, and
Really?
and I don't, you know, if I mess up the story,
No,
a
of
little bit,
course.
Quentin,
Yeah,
I'm
no, I'm
sorry.
sorry too.
But from what I understand, they were, one of the robbers pulled a gun tried to take Quentin from his mom as a hostage, and his mom would not let him go, and basically told the gunman, if you're gonna have to kill me to take him.
Wow.
And he had Quentin by the arm, and he looked down at Quentin, and he had his mask on, and he looked down at Quentin and said, I wish when I was your age I had a mom like you did.
Wow.
And he let him go.
Yeah.
And
that's amazing.
they ran out the door, and 5 minutes later they were all dead.
Really?
Yeah. They all got, and it,
Yeah, that's a surreal type of thing to hear, but I could imagine for him to live through. You know?
Yeah. And I mean, him and his mom had a very, very, very special relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was the one that found him the audition for The Blind Side.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she's the one that told him to audition for The Blind Side, and when he auditioned, he didn't think he was going to get it, so he gave the producers and the casting director his business card as a security, because he was doing security for Third Rock from the Sun for Tina Fey.
Really?
Yeah, and I mean, he had been doing security jobs, all over, but that was one of the ones that he was pretty consistent at, and he basically told, as the story is, he told the casting director and the producers, look, I know I'm not going to get this part, but I know you need security, so he gave him his card. A year later, he got the part, and unfortunately, his mom passed away right before he got the role. But
of course,
in spirit, she saw him do the movie, and she was with him the whole way, and she's still with him today. So
that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
And that's one of the things, like for Quentin and I, that's why we're so close. I mean, because our stories are so parallel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of things that have gone on in our lives that, it. And listen, everybody has their story, and this is not, downing what anybody else may have gone through, but I mean, and I would say this for Quentin, it takes a pretty special person to come through what he's gone through and be the type of person he is today. And I'm pretty sure he would say the same thing about me.
Yeah.
It takes a pretty special person to go through all that,
and
then to get to this point,
have a kind heart, and
still want to keep pushing.
Want to help people, keep pushing, never give up the faith. Right. That's amazing. That's crazy. That's a surreal story. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about your anti-bullying campaign. That's huge here. Yeah.
Well, the campaign is called "I Got Your Back," and when it started, when I started my own campaign, I had already been speaking all over the country, and that's how Quentin and I. Well, we actually met at the International Peachtree Film Festival in Atlanta. We were both speaking on panels out there, and it was right after The Blind Side had come out, and we had met there in Atlanta, became friends. Shortly after that, I was speaking in Dallas, and at a high school out in Dallas, and I asked him if he wanted to join me, and he came out, and we spoke at 3 of the biggest schools in Dallas. Got invited to their homecoming. There were thousands of people. It was an amazing event, and we realized at that point, like, we have something really special. He did his anti-bullying with the Quentin Aaron Foundation, and I started my campaign called "I Got Your Back." And it was for me. I would always tell the kids, like, I got your back. Like, if you ever need anything, don't hesitate to reach out to me on social media. And that's awesome. And that was during the time when, like, Facebook was really coming into its own, and MySpace was kind of fading out. And
MySpace.
Yeah, right. That's gosh, it seems so ancient, right?
Yeah, you pick your 6 friends, and it's like, I don't know.
Right. But so as the campaign grew, we continued to speak together, and collectively together, Quentin and I have spoken to probably 5 million students together nationwide.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and we've done a lot of stuff together, and then we've done our own individual things. But "I Got Your Back" for me is just something that's, and I say this all the time, I've always said that if I have a platform and I can use my platform for good, like, that's what I want to use it for, and I want to help other people. There's so many people that are afraid constantly of what, of course, not only of other people but elements and what people might think or what people might say. It's always something, right? And, our goal is just to spread positivity and peace, and I believe everybody has a right to their opinion. Everybody does. And some people feel like they have more of a right to their opinion than anybody else. But
we see a lot of those people on social media, especially, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I think that if we're going to be good stewards of our word, we got to allow everybody to have that right. Of course. And "I Got Your Back" is all about just positivity, forward motion, peace, love. That's awesome. And that's just kind of what the premise of it's about. That's amazing. And not a lot of people use their platform for good. The world we live in today, a lot of people have a platform, but they're using it for
to be cool or to be in, and nothing wrong against them.
Yeah.
Like you said, they're entitled to their opinions and their beliefs.
Right.
But for someone to actually have a platform and want to use it for better, it's rare. It's huge.
Well, and I think too that there's a bit of responsibility if you have a platform. Not all people feel like this, but I just feel like there is a sense of responsibility in the fact that if you have a platform, you have a reach, then you should be doing something that is good.
Yeah.
At some level, and it doesn't have to be for public knowledge.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be for public consumption either. I mean, if you're just doing right by the people around you, your community, who cares if anybody knows about it?
Yeah.
Social media has made it a little bit more, prevalent in the fact that people want to see what you're doing all the time. And
Yeah, right.
They want to see if you're really, a nice guy or whoever you are. Now, I know people that really try to watch everything that they do so that they don't get picked apart by the critics and everybody else, the haters. But then again, I mean, you have to be you, and no matter what anybody says, you have to continue moving forward. I don't think when you're a driven person, when you're somebody who wants more success, when you're someone who wants to be better in life, I don't think the fight ever stops, right? I don't think the fight ever stops. I think you just continue to evolve, and every time you evolve, there's a new challenge that comes up.
Of course.
With you evolving.
What do they say? With every new level of growth, there's a new,
level of struggle.
Yeah, exactly.
It is what it is. I mean, and I've been blessed to be around some pretty great people in the business, and when you sit and talk to these people, the struggle's no different.
Yeah.
I mean, it really isn't.
You relate to them. You're
Yeah,
like, whoa,
you're
she's like me, he's like me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was funny because even some of the first times I gotten to meet some of you in the Jackson's fighters.
Yeah.
People who I was like, wow, man, it must be great being you. You probably don't have any problems. You don't deal with haters. You don't. And then I start talking to these guys, and they're like, man, you have no idea. I'm a target every day for something.
Right.
And it's like, wow, man. And it's I don't like to use the term misery loves company, but it's really nice when you know that you're not the only one that goes through those kind of things. You're not the only one that goes through that struggle or
of course
has those types of problems, right?
Yeah.
But again, it's spreading positivity, man. Just
it's huge.
It's huge. And that's another reason why Quentin and I are so close, is because he is the person you see in The Blind Side. That's who he is.
That's awesome.
I mean, he's the kind of guy that if he has 50 cents and you need it, he'll give it to you.
Yeah.
That's just who he is.
That's awesome.
So I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, and I'm really proud of the guy. He's getting ready to start a new program now for weight loss.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's huge.
So yeah, he's jumping on a new program now.
Heck yeah.
And, he's going to be, everybody's going to be shocked when they see him in about 6 months.
Hey, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Shoot. So you said 28 years in the business is when you coming up on 28 years since you started in the film industry?
In the business altogether.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Really?
In the entertainment business altogether. Yeah.
How were those beginning years? Especially, me, I want to aspire. I want to make short films. I told you that, things like that. But how is it these beginning years, and then from being there to where you are today?
Well, it wasn't always in film. I was in music.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
I was in music, and I did a bunch of stuff with labels, and I was just kind of trying my hand at everything. And I really got into film about 12, 13 years ago. And it was funny because, like, even way before that, one of my first things I ever got to do as an actor, I would say, was a Tupac Shakur video.
Really?
Yeah. And, I wanted to be a part of the video so bad. And this will age me. I saw it in the want ads in the paper.
Really?
That's where it wasn't on. There was no social media.
You had to go circle.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
gonna check that.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
And I'll never forget it. It was a casting call, and it said wanted, 6'2", African American, gangster looking. I said, that's me.
Hey, forget about it, right?
Right. And I went to the audition in Santa Fe. Got told. Not only did I get laughed at, I got told no. Stalked the director after the audition. Got told no again. I was told that I was becoming creepy. On the drive home, I saw the signs for where the video was going to be, so I parked on the set.
Relentless.
I was relentless. I didn't give up. And finally, it was, you know, I got to be in the video, and if
Yeah.
you blink, you miss me, but I got to be in the video. That's
Yeah.
all that mattered to me. And, you know, and then, but back then, there wasn't many things going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I remember after shooting that, I did a United Blood Services commercial, and I wasn't even the lead guy in that. I was the guy eating the hamburger behind the
Yeah.
lead. And, you know, but no one could have told me I was like that dude. I was like, oh, I'm going to eat this hamburger like nobody's ever eaten a hamburger,
exactly.
right? And
You're appreciative of the opportunity,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
matter how small.
it ended up, you know, from the director's standpoint, being a little bit creepy because
Yeah.
I was like,
You're really
you know,
eating a
I was
hamburger.
really eating
No,
the
I feel
hamburger,
you.
right? But you know, and it was very, you know, the opportunities were very sporadic, very very few and far between. You know, I got a little part in The Ghost of Mars with Ice Cube and
Oh, that
John
was-
Carpenter and
I actually like that
and
movie.
Pam Grier. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah. I was one of the aliens, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until about 12 years ago when you know, the film business here really started, you know, starting to, you know, spitfire,
Yeah.
right? And I'll never forget, I read for a movie with a wonderful casting director here, Kathy Brink, and one, in my opinion, one of the nicest ladies in the business here. Someone who, you know, has not let the position that she has get to her head, and
That's amazing.
She's very, very kind. She's always got kind words for you as an actor. But anyway, she called me in for this audition, and I walk into the room, and it's the director, Keith Samples, and Christian Slater.
Really?
One of my favorite actors of all
Yeah.
time. He's like, in my opinion, he's our generation's Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
And we read. Neither one of them say a word to me. I leave thinking, man, like, I totally bombed this.
Yeah.
This is terrible. I go to Palm Springs to do something for the record label that I was running,
Uh-huh.
and get a call from there, and it was Kathy, and she was like, "Where are you at? You got the part.
No way.
You need to be back tomorrow. You need to be at this address tomorrow." So I came back immediately, shot the movie, and
The rest is history.
the rest is history. And
That's
then
amazing.
I mean, listen, and it wasn't like there wasn't times of struggle, and I mean, it was, you know, in between all that, man, it was constant struggle.
Yeah.
You know, just trying to find my way, trying to find, you know, anything that I could do to make it in the business.
Of course.
Remember when the recession hit?
Yeah.
Well, during the recession, it was, you know, it was a bad time, you know, and I didn't think, because I just lived in this world of entertainment, I didn't think the recession would affect me at all, but it did. And it was the first time in probably 13 years I had to get a real job.
Really?
And I'll never forget sitting in the parking lot of Citibank, going in to sign an application, fill an application, and crying my eyes out. And, you know, just being
Yeah.
pissed off at the world. I was mad at everybody. Like, how could this be? Like, I was doing this. I was speaking. I was making appearances. And now nothing. Like, I mean, that recession hit everybody. And if you weren't on the upper echelon of the totem pole, you were just, you were squashed. And
Yeah.
so I worked there for like 6-7 months. It was miserable. I was miserable, but it was also, listen, I believe that God humbles you and he taps you on your shoulder. And for a long time, he was tapping me and I wasn't listening. I felt like I was doing it all and I had total control. Well, anyway, out of the blue, my manager gives me a call and says, "Hey, you want to fight DMX in a celebrity boxing match?" I was like, "What?" He's like, "I know it's not movies, Eric, but, you know, I mean, this is what they're." I mean, I was like, "No, I'm not doing that, dude. Like, I'm an actor. I want to be an actor. I want to be taken serious as an actor. You know, I'm not like, you know, some celebrity punching bag."
Yeah.
Then he told me how much they were going to pay. I was like, "Boom, done. I'm out."
Done.
I
Later, city.
put my headset down, told my boss I'm out, and it was funny because the fight never transpired.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for a lot of different reasons. You know, none of which I really want to go into,
No,
but
of course, yeah.
because I love DMX. He's still one of my favorite rappers of all time. But shortly after that, I started getting work again. You know, did a stint on In Plain Sight, and you know, started doing some other, you know, independent films, and you know, just out there constantly hustling, putting myself out there. And that's the thing. Like, if you want to be in this business, no one will work harder for you than you, and you've got to do everything you can every single day. This is not an 8 to 5, 9 to 5.
24/7.
This is 24/7. Holidays don't exist.
Yep.
Weekends don't exist. You must be relentless in your pursuit. I tell people that all the time.
Dude, yeah.
You must be. There is no ifs or ands or buts about it. And if you want to get it, you got to go in all you got to listen. You don't learn to swim by dipping your toes in the water, right?
Yeah, jump in.
Jump in, and you've got to want to succeed as much as you want to breathe.
Yeah.
You got to want to succeed as much as you want to breathe.
E.T.
There's no way around it. You
Yeah.
cannot. And I feel like if there's no matter any profession in life, right? You can't come in here in this gym, which is one of the best gyms in the world, and expect to half-ass your work, and become a champion.
Yeah.
You just can't do it, right? Because there's so many hungry fighters in here that would give their left arm to have an opportunity,
Yeah.
and they'll go right through you.
Oh, of course.
Like make no bones about it.
Yeah.
And that's how it is in this business. There's a lot of people going after very, very small. I mean, you're a very, very small gate and window of opportunity. And that's why with us, we just finally decided, look, we're gonna take our success path in our own hands. Dreamhouse Post, Dreamhouse Productions is all derived from just wanting to do the things we want to do on our terms.
That's amazing. I can't emphasize enough how inspiring that is, especially for everybody in the city. You're born here, right?
I was actually not born here. I live here,
okay.
But New Mexico's my home.
Yeah.
I've been here practically my whole life.
Okay.
New Mexico's my home. I represent Albuquerque, New Mexico everywhere I go. And I think, and again, there are people here that would say that's crazy. Oh, Albuquerque's dangerous. There's this, there's that. But I love the city.
Yeah.
I love the people of the city. I think there's a lot of great talent in the city. If you look at, even just for me in my realm, you look at some of the people in this business here that have really made a standpoint in the city. You look at the Stephen Michael Casadas, who, opened doors for Latinos in this business.
Yeah.
You look at, you look at casting directors like, Joanna Bolden, Angelique Midthunder, Kira Arai, Kathy Brink. These are all people who've helped pave the way for actors here locally to get a chance. You look at Chris Rainey and Rod Weisberg. You look at, even other people on the music side, George Fisher, Stevie Bundles, who, in fact, I'm one of the movies that we're going to be doing, which we've been working on for years, is a movie called Money is King that, Boy Dirt, who is an amazing artist from out here, he co-wrote with Stevie Bundles. And it's a movie that, listen, I've never forgotten. I know a lot of time has passed and sometimes they think things get lost in the shuffle, but it's not easy making a movie. It is not easy raising money to make a movie. It's just not. For every one script you see that gets the money and gets the funding to finally make their movie, there's a million behind it that never even got that shot.
Really?
But this is one of the films that we truly want to shoot. It's going to be all shot here in Albuquerque. But I'm just saying that there's so many people that I could name that are very, very good reasons why, especially on the film side, people here can enjoy because of those people that have opened those pathways and they've opened those doors to help others, and create opportunity, right? And the list can go on and on and on. There's so many names that I probably didn't mention that I could, but you get the point.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And now that and a lot. Listen, I know a lot of people are like, oh well, the new governor is causing this and causing that, but what she did for the film community it's unheard of.
Really?
She lifted the cap off the tax for the film rebate.
Oh, okay.
She lifted the cap off of it, and it's going to mean a ton more work coming to New Mexico.
That's
it's going to mean a ton more jobs for actors and crew.
Yeah.
Netflix is here.
That's amazing. That's going to be great for everybody.
And listen, that seed was planted from all the work and hustle that everybody here locally, I believe, did to get the world to see that this is where they should be filming.
Yeah, everybody that paved the way for us.
Everybody that paved the way. And I hope that in some small part, I was able to encourage some of that growth, or if I'm still in a position, if I'm in a position now which I am, I can hope that I can continue encouraging that growth.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like your passion for it is, real, and that's a big thing, rather than just, of course, everybody's in business to make money, but at the same time, you want to help people.
Right.
You want to do what you love. Not everybody's inclined towards artistic endeavors.
Right.
And that's a big thing too. So when people are willing to actually do that, put the hustle in for it,
right, Well, I mean, and look, and that's that. Listen, even out in Farmington, we did a movie last year. Quentin and I did a movie with a gentleman by the name of Brent Garcia, who is an independent filmmaker. We shot a movie called Aurora's Law. Great movie with Roxanne Fortner, Stephen Michael Casada, Quentin and myself. I'm a producer on it, and now he's doing a full-scale film festival.
Oh, really? In Farmington?
Yeah, 4 to 5 day film festival.
That's amazing.
Oh, and it's going to be off the chain.
Yeah.
And when he asked me to be a part of it, I reached out to Vivica immediately, and Vivica was like, "I'm coming down." Noelle was like, "I'll be there." And we haven't stopped yet. The list is still growing. We got a lot of great people coming to this film festival. So if you're in New Mexico or anywhere around the Four Corners and you want to come to this festival, follow Brent Garcia on Facebook and on Instagram. It has all the information. Film4corners.com. And you'll see all the information you need for the film festival, and it's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be a really good time. I also got a good friend in Roswell his film festival's coming up here real soon. It's the Roswell Film Festival.
Really?
It's 3 years in, and it's super successful.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing their part now.
Yeah.
Everybody's stepping up and trying to help.
Everybody sees what everyone else is doing. It's like, hey, I could do that.
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah. That's amazing. What drove your inclination towards arts?
I wasn't good at anything else. I if you can believe it or not, I wanted to be a basketball player at one time. I wanted to be a football player, but
heck yeah.
I love when music was done for me and I stepped away from the music scene, I had always wanted to be an actor. I just, and again, I didn't know where to start, like a lot of people.
Yeah,
I didn't know where to begin. I didn't know who to talk to.
Scary.
But I knew I loved the business,
Yeah.
and I wanted to be out there so bad that, and again, it was just like one of those things. Listen, if you let the fear of failure or the fear of unknown hold you back, you will never, ever take the chance. And that's why so many people, today are stuck in jobs that they don't like, working for people that they don't get along with, making money that, doesn't afford them, barely rent,
Just
much
the
less a
next check.
lifestyle. Yeah, it's like check to check. It's because of fear. And I say this all the time. Most people never realize their dreams because they're too busy living life.
Yeah.
And if you feel like that or you think like that, listen, you're not alone in that thinking. And I'm not saying go out and be irresponsible, but what I am saying is if you have a dream and you have a goal or there's something that you're truly, truly passionate about, go get it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Go get it. Right?
So many people are stuck in that fear mode.
Fear. And I just, and even, to this day, I just don't have any fear of the industry. I want to do it all. I've been saying this for a long time. I want to pull a Tyler Perry on New Mexico.
Heck yeah. That's amazing.
And it's, and in the interim, being able to work with such great people. He used to be a fighter from here. Keith Jardine.
Oh, yep.
So being able to work with Keith and someone like that and watching how that guy has evolved, from a fighter to an actor, a serious
great actor. Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
a great actor. And he's still learning. He's still, he's like a sponge,
Yeah.
And the most beautiful thing about Keith is that he doesn't even realize how good he is.
Yeah.
He's so humble,
Yeah.
That's funny. I have a funny story. So I shot a movie with Keith Jardine and Quentin in Texas a couple years ago, and I got them. I was a producer on it, and I got them in the movie. And the first night we get there, the producers put us up in this $1 million home.
Really?
On this ranch, on this beautiful ranch, had a lake in it. It was this beautiful countryside of Victoria, Texas, right? And it was 2-story, but when we walked in, it was a hunter's house.
Really?
So this guy was an avid hunter. And
Yeah.
I say avid hunter, I'm not talking about a couple bucks. He had a full giraffe in his living room.
Really?
He had rhinoceros heads. He had lions.
That's crazy.
Stuffed lions like that he had went out and hunted and killed, right?
Yeah.
Animals all over the house. And there were 2 bedrooms upstairs and a bedroom downstairs. The first night we stayed there, we were so tired. And Quentin, listen, we've shared a lot of hotel rooms together. That dude will not let you sleep. He snores like a grizzly bear, and he's always up and about, moving around. So the first night we were there, we go to bed. I sleep downstairs, right? And my room was kind of like by the kitchen in the living room. At 4:00 in the morning, I hear this. I'm like, what I was like, oh, I am gonna kill this dude. I thought it was Quentin. I jump up and it's dark, and I
Yeah.
hear this. I flick on the light because I've busted Quentin eating,
Really?
waking me up from
Yeah.
doing that in the morning. I turn on the light, and it's Keith grinding his own coffee,
No way.
and he had no shirt on. And you've seen Keith without a shirt on,
Yeah,
right?
he's huge.
Oh, he's a monster. I was
Yeah.
like, whoa, dude. He was like, and so nice. He was like, I'm sorry, Eric. Did I wake you?
You're like, nah, you're cool, bro.
Oh, like, no, bro, you're good. He was all, would you like some coffee? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not?
That's awesome.
But it was just one of those things where you look at this guy, and all I kept seeing is his fights with Chuck Liddell
Yeah,
and Vanderlei
right.
Silva and
Monster.
Rampage. He's a monster.
Such a nice guy, though.
I mean, I can't say enough about that guy. I mean, you'll never hear him say anything bad about anyone. He doesn't have an opinion about anything. He's living his life, right? And he's doing his thing.
He's
and
doing a good job of
he's
it,
doing
too.
and guess what? That's why he's doing a very good job of it, because he ain't worried about being in the drama.
Yeah.
Who's better? Who's doing this? Who's not doing? Like, he focuses on him.
That's amazing.
So yeah,
it's
he's a great
inspiring.
guy. Yeah.
Like you said, you can't have fear in the industry. You can't be afraid of what producers or directors or casting agents are going
Well,
to say
and not
to
only
you.
that, you can't have $1 million dream with a minimum wage work ethic, right?
Yeah, that's huge. Like you said, the business is 24/7.
It's 24/7.
The business of working on your dreams is 24/7.
Right.
It's not just films, not just music or
Right.
martial arts. It's what do you want to do with your life? You have one life.
That's right.
Yeah,
Once you lose, listen, once we get past today, we can never get this moment
exactly.
back, right?
Yeah.
So if you spend your day every day, contemplating what you're about, what you're going to do even for your day. I don't want to get up at 4. It's too hard. I don't want to get up at 6 now. It's too hard. Before you know it, you're getting up at noon every day, right?
Where'd the day go?
Where'd the day go?
Yeah.
I heard Pastor T.D. Jakes said he laughs at people who'd say they're grinding. Because Pastor Stephen Furtick asked him in a conversation one time, he said, what do you think about this whole, when people say they're grinding? He started laughing. He goes, most people, when they say they're grinding on social media, they've woken up at noon, they're sitting on their couch and they're eating a bowl of cereal.
Yeah, and they post a nice picture.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I'm getting this money.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Yeah. Like, I'm grinding, right?
Yeah.
But I just feel like if you want to be successful, you have to put in the work.
Yeah, of
no matter
course.
what.
T.D. Jakes, I think I read one of his books, Destiny. It's a blue book. It's a great book.
He's an amazing pastor, an amazing speaker.
Yeah, of course. Who do you draw inspiration from? I'm sure every aspect of
Oh,
life,
man.
but who's been catching your ear lately?
Who's been catching Steve Harvey.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to his Audible books or
No.
even had a chance to read. I would
I'll
suggest
definitely check that out.
Steve Harvey, T.D. Jakes, Devon Franklin.
Okay.
I mean, he has a book out called The 10 Hollywood Commandments, and he's talking about it from a Christian perspective, a
Really?
godly perspective.
Huh.
And it is amazing.
Yeah, I was
and
gonna
he
say.
was a producer of The Karate Kid with Will Smith.
Oh, really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Wow. So he's actually seen the business.
Oh yeah, he's done it. He's
Yeah.
done it on a very high level. He produced a show for Oprah Winfrey. I mean, he's done it big.
That's huge.
And to be able to talk about the failure and the success coming from an industry that would, eat most people alive and still have the presence and mind to be very, very respectful with people, is amazing. And his story and his journey and what he went through to get there. I mean, T.D. Jakes, Steve Harvey, Devon Franklin, Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
These are all, these are all people that I draw inspiration from, and I listen to. I just got finished listening to the Joe Rogan podcast
With Kevin Hart?
With Kevin Hart.
I saw that the other day,
and,
too.
Yeah, and he, and I was glad that Joe talked to him about some of the stuff he did. I mean, it's Kevin, so he, you're gonna get some, you're gonna get some nonsense in there no matter what.
Yeah,
but the heart of the story, excuse the pun, but the heart of the story of that is that, Kevin was somebody who was relentless in his pursuit,
Yeah.
and he didn't quit, and he didn't give
100%.
up. I mean, and he made a lot of mistakes trying to get there.
Yeah.
But the fact is he just never quit.
Yeah.
And it's the same with The Rock.
Oh,
You
The
know?
Rock. Those two people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so when you get the chance to listen to what they're doing, whether it be through an interview or a podcast, I'm constantly searching the web
Yeah.
for stuff like that, right? And
Yeah.
that's where I draw my inspiration from. I draw my inspiration from, my family, my children,
That's huge.
my faith.
How many children do you have?
3.
3? What are
Yeah.
their ages?
21,
21.
14, and 8.
Dang. That's amazing. I have a 5-year-old girl.
Oh man, that's beautiful.
I'm just getting started.
Daddy's girl, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh, rap.
Yeah,
I'm sure she's the boss, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
she
yeah.
is. I have her in gymnastics now. I try and get her down here.
Yeah.
Train things like that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
the world we live in today is crazy.
It
you know,
is.
it's crazy. But if we instill the right ethics in them, right?
Right.
You know, hopefully we give them enough tools in their toolbox to take
Absolutely.
on whatever.
Absolutely.
It's huge.
So, yeah, I mean, it's I feel like if you can do a little bit every day to give them even just a little bit more hope and a little bit more courage and confidence in the things that they're doing. Listen, there's no handbook on being the best parent, right? There just isn't. I mean, and
No,
even if you try your best, you fall way short of it.
Oh yeah, it's hard.
But the best thing that I feel like you can do is, love your children. Don't be afraid to discipline them. Don't be afraid to show them what's right from wrong.
Yeah.
Teach them the value of hard work.
Show them how to work hard. That's a huge thing. Everybody,
lead by example.
Yeah.
So
Take them outdoors. Get them off their iPads.
Right.
Things like that. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I picked up my 8-year-old from school the other day, and I didn't even know this, but 3 of the kids in his class, he's a second grader, have iPhones. They pulled out their iPhones and they're Snapchatting each other.
Snapchat?
On the playground. I was like, wait. And so my son's now asking me for an iPhone. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
Forget about it, right?
Yeah.
Nah.
No. Let me see you pick up a coloring book. How about that?
Yeah, right. So, for people that are coming up in any state, any city, that want to be in movies, want to be in film, theater, any type of artistic endeavor, what would you tell them?
I would say, man, there's no one way to the top, right? But
Yeah.
I would say one of the first things you should do is invest in some good headshots.
Yeah.
Really invest in some good
I hear
headshots. Get that down. Take some professional pictures, not with your iPhone.
Yeah.
Not someone with, not your boy taking it with his Android. Get some.
Yeah.
There's photographers out there that will give you some good headshots, right? I would then say dive into your local theater. Get into some local theater. Get around people who are like-minded.
The mastermind group.
Right.
It's huge.
Get around people who are creative like you.
Yeah.
Maybe a writer. Get around some writers. Get around some people who can write some monologues for you.
Build a team.
Yeah, build a team. Get around independent filmmakers. Go to every casting call you can. Anything you can do on set, do. I don't care if you're a PA, you're an extra, you're sweeping the set, you're stacking sandbags, whatever it takes.
Get around them.
Yes, get on set. Learn the business, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you want to own a successful restaurant, you got to know what the cook does, the host does, the front desk, the bartender, the waiter.
True.
You got to know, right? And if you want to be successful in this business, you got to surround yourself with like-minded people.
Sounds like you've done a really good job of that.
I mean, and listen, I'm not doing anything different than what, even I remember hearing Tyler Perry say this one time, and he said it. He was like, I surrounded myself with a bunch of people who were better than me.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm successful today.
That's amazing.
It wasn't me. I was completely foolish in this business, which is why, for damn near, 7 years, I was broke. I just wouldn't quit.
Yeah.
But when I was able to, I surrounded myself with people who were better than me. And, I adapted a part of who they were into everything that I did daily so that I could get my own career started. Be a sponge.
Yeah, be a sponge.
Be a sponge.
We have 2 ears, 1 mouth for a reason, right?
Right.
Listen twice as much as we talk.
Right. I mean, just be a sponge and dive into it. Hey, spend less time on Snapchat.
Right.
And if you're going to be on your phone, be watching. It's what I do. If I'm not working on a script, or I'm not reading, or I'm not doing something that has to do with my career or my business, I am constantly. That's what I do. I'm constantly on my phone.
Yeah, constantly learning.
I'm constantly learning. I'm looking up. I'm looking up the old actors. I'm looking up podcasts of people who are. Because what I like to hear, Jake, what I like to hear is I like to hear the story of how.
Yeah.
What they went through.
Right.
I'm crazy like that.
No, I don't think you're crazy at all.
I like knowing that I'm not the only one that's had those struggles, right?
You're not the only one that feels crazy.
Right.
We're all crazy.
Because sometimes you feel completely alone in your pursuit.
Heck yeah.
I mean, you sometimes you feel like you look around you and all your friends are, they got houses and they're married and they got careers. They work for a bank or a law firm, and you're like, you're barely making it.
Yeah.
You're hoping that your lights stay on. You're hoping that you have enough food in the fridge for your kid or yourself. And you're like, what am I doing?
Chasing a dream.
What am I doing? And that can wear on you.
Oh, I'm sure.
But for me, I in those dark times, in those times where I feel discouraged or those times I feel weak or I feel down, I pray first, and then I dig into my videos. I have a saved list of videos on my YouTube channel that is
Really?
just all motivation. It's all,
Heck
if
yeah.
it's not Tony Robbins. In fact, I just saved, and I watched it the other day, and I've probably watched it 50 times since I got it, was the Dana White interview with Tony Robbins. If you haven't seen it,
Yeah,
watch
I
it.
mean, you check that out. Tell me about it.
Yeah, he's on stage with Tony Robbins, and Tony Robbins, makes him talk about what it took to get the UFC off the
Oh,
ground.
God, I bet that was it.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was just amazing.
See what it is today,
to
especially, right?
Yeah. And to hear him talk about the night that he got the call from the Fertittas, and they told him, like, we can't keep dumping money. We're damn near $20 million or $40 million or something like that. Something astronomical, and we haven't gotten anything done with it. We need to stop. And then he told Dana, see what you can sell the UFC for.
Yeah.
So Dana made a few phone calls, and the next day called him back and told him, look, we might be able to get 6 to 7 million tops for it, and that's it. Fertitta said, give me 24 hours. I'm going to call you back. And Dana said, he told Tony Robbins, he said that was the longest 24 hours of his life. I think it was 40 million. Because I remember him saying, like, the hardest part of that conversation was telling his friend, I blew through $40 million of your money, and we have nothing to show for it with the UFC. Nothing. And he said that, Lorenzo called him back the next day and said, F it. We're this deep. Let's just keep going.
Let's go.
And now the company's worth $7 billion. Billion with a
huge.
B.
Yeah.
Like, come on now. I mean, and again, he said it was just my relentlessness, my refusal to give up, my refusal to be afraid of the unknown.
Yeah.
And
he had an idea. He chased the idea.
Yeah,
and
man.
Look where he is now.
Look where he is
Everybody
now.
knows Dana White.
Yeah, right.
That's huge.
And I mean, and not listen. I'm a fan of the UFC, but what I'm a bigger fan of is his story.
Yeah, the hustle, the
hustle,
dream.
right? I'm a bigger fan of that.
Yeah. No, of course, it's
and I've got,
admirable.
and I've actually met Dana, and I've been able to, and one of the first things I told him was, man, like, you're such an inspiration to me. I don't think like, I'm not a fighter, and I don't do any of that, but
Right
you are
on.
an inspiration to me on the business side of things.
As a businessman, as a person that followed his dream, right?
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I draw inspiration from anybody that has a dream. I'll support anybody that has a dream.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah.
You were talking about actors, some old school actors. Who top 3 actors? Any
Top 3 actors. I know this is going to sound totally cliche-ish, but Al Pacino,
of course.
Robert De Niro,
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Boom.
I mean, and a very, very close second to those guys would, it would be Peter Fonda, Denzel, of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right. How can I limit you to 3?
Right.
So many.
Yeah, there's so many.
Many.
But if I had to pick the top 3, and it's funny because even Kevin, I was in one of the interviews that he was talking about just doing this new movie, The Upside, right? Which is the first movie where Kevin didn't get to be quintessential Kevin, right?
Yeah, he was a serious.
And he said that by far, Bryan Cranston, who we all know from Breaking Bad, was the most incredible actor he's ever been around.
Yeah.
He said to watch that guy prepare for. He said it changed me. It and listen, and Kevin's gotten to work with some great people.
Oh
right?
yeah,
The Rock, Tiffany Haddish. I mean, he's not. He's worked with some good actors.
Of course.
Think Like a Man, 2, great cast. Yeah. But he said Bryan Cranston. He was like that. He was like, and his exact words was that shit was just a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Like, it was a whole nother level.
I can imagine.
And to think about the fact that Bryan Cranston for probably 7 years couldn't get a job.
Right. Wasn't his first one Malcolm in the Middle, right? That was his breaking.
I mean, he did some bit parts. He was in the movie with Tom Hanks about, remember the band? When he managed the band? That Thing You Do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Bryan Cranston was actually in the smallest part in the movie. He was the singer on the talk show, on the show that they were featured on. But he had done a bunch of other stuff. But Malcolm in the Middle was one. That was the first.
He got his big start with the Preparation H ad.
Preparation
Okay.
H
Wow.
of all things, right there.
Imagine
You go.
In the late 80s, early 90s.
Wow.
That's crazy.
But I mean, again, to hear Bryan Cranston talk about his struggle and about the process of auditioning, I have a video where he's saying he started getting roles when he stopped caring about the audition.
That's so crazy.
He's like, I just went into the audition, did what I could do for the minute and a half I was in there, and left it there.
Yeah, left it all on the table.
Just left it there.
That's amazing.
Walked out of there, didn't care if I got it, didn't care if I did, whatever. I just left it there. And that's when things started turning around for me. You know, because he's like, I used to concentrate so much on the process of the audition and hoping they liked me and hoping I was doing the right thing. And we've all been there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think auditioning is, I mean, you know, it's like one of the worst things. It's like bearing your soul.
Yeah.
You know?
I've done a couple auditions, and I was confident walking in, but when I got there,
yeah. I don't think there's an actor that hasn't gone through that. I mean, I know it's funny because I've seen interviews with many big actors that say they can't stand the auditioning process. They absolutely hate it, and they're so happy to be in a position now where they don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Now they got choices, you know.
Yeah, right.
You know, like offers, you know.
Yeah. It's amazing.
But yeah, so I mean, that's where I draw my inspiration from.
That's amazing.
That's what I do. And it's funny because people talk to me sometimes and ask me, and it's like, there's no secret to this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not some magic trick. I work every day. I am purposeful. If you talk to any part of my team, they would tell you, like, he's purposeful.
Yeah.
Quentin used to live with me, and I just found this out. So he used to live with me, and he would tell me that every time he heard my garage door open, he'd pick up a pen and pad or a broom to make it look like he didn't.
Really? Like he was working?
Yeah, he was working.
Nah, that's amazing, though.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, I mean, those are my expectations of the people around me, you know?
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you're only as strong as your weakest link, right?
Of course.
You know, if you have a team that thinks like you do, and they want to be just as successful as you want to be, and they hang in there with you, I feel like you can do anything you want. I mean, you know, when you have that type of faith and that type of structure around you.
Yeah.
You know? So
relentless, no matter where you're from, what circumstances, if you surround yourself with the right people, and you have the right mindset,
right,
you could set out to do anything.
Well, because sometimes you're going to be on that island all by yourself.
Yeah.
And the only person you can turn to is you, right? And I say this respectfully because, you know, there's a lot of people that feel differently about religion and faith, right?
Of course.
But I feel like in those times, every day you should thank the Lord for your blessings every day. But I feel like in those times when you feel the most alone, you know, that's when you need to really hone yourself in, say a prayer, and ask God to get you through that moment. And you know, and He will. He always does. Him and I have had a lot of.
I hear you.
I've had a lot of fights with God, and I've lost every single one of them.
Yeah, right.
I've had a lot of arguments with that man, and I've lost every single one of them. And it's always been a humbling experience because He's always right. He's always right. Yeah. And I've not once been able to prove Him wrong, even when I felt like He did leave me all alone. You know, He was still right in doing it. He was teaching me, right? But I tell people all the time, you're going to come across those roadblocks. You're going to come across those things where it just don't make no sense. Like, you've done everything right. You prepared for the role. You did everything you possibly could to get it, and then you don't get it. Just keep it moving.
Keep the faith.
Keep the faith. Keep it moving. Focus on the next thing.
Yeah.
Sell yourself. Again, nobody's going to work harder for you than you. If you don't go out there and get it, I tell, you know, because I know I talk to friends in the business all the time. They're like, oh, I've been waiting for my agent to get me something. I've been waiting for my manager to get me something. Yeah, exactly. Waiting. Yeah. There's the operative word, waiting and waiting. Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
Like you said, even from the Tupac video, you were there. You didn't care. You didn't care what people said about you. You had an idea. You had a dream, and look at you now.
Listen, I walked into a room, a convention center, like it was like a conference room, one of those conference lobbies at the Hilton in Santa Fe, with 300 guys that looked like John Jones. I was the only.
Oh, because you were saying the casting call was for a 6'2",
6'2" African American gangster looking.
Shit, I'm there.
Everybody thought I was there to park cars or to bring lunch.
That's funny, man.
So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for joining us today, Eric.
Thank you so much, man.
It's been an honor.
I appreciate you guys having me back.
Of course.
I'm a big fan of the show.
Yeah.
I watch all the podcasts, and I just, thank you for allowing me to be here. And I would say, listen, anytime I'm welcome back, I would love to come back.
You're welcome back anytime. We're a big fan of you too, and we look forward to seeing your book
Thank you.
The production, post-production, everything that you have to offer, not just for our city, but for everyone.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, of
And
course.
if I could say, just say, listen, if you want to follow me at emartinez6670 on Instagram. You can go to my website, iamericmartinez.com, and all my links are there for my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. But man, if you need some inspiration, you need some motivation, follow me and reach out to me. You know,
Heck yeah.
I have no problem taking time out to help.
That's amazing. That's big of you.
Yeah,
Like
you know, so anybody that's listening or that watches this, you know, feel free to reach out to me. You know, I'd love to hear your story, and if there's anything that I can do to inspire you or help you, and even just that moment of darkness, you know, hit me up.
Heck yeah.
So thank you very much.
Appreciate you, Eric.
Appreciate you.
Through these doors walk the greatest fighters in the world.